Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison and today I am finally filming my August wrap-up. So I used to do my wrap-ups and TBRs in the same video, but I have since learned that I usually have a lot of things to say about the books that I have read. So I have decided to separate them and make the videos just a little bit shorter because I know before they were getting to be just a little bit too long, and I was like, you know what, I'll just film them separately because why not? So here we are, August wrap up finally, and I read 4 books in August, which is pretty good considering all of the crazy life crap that was happening in that month. So just to sum it all up, so in August I started our homeschool year with our kids. We bought 2 new vehicles, and then the last week of the month our well stopped working. So we were without water for about a week and 5 days. So that's kind of like what was going on in the month of August, and that's a lot of things to deal with in 1 month. So I'm really hoping that my life will calm down a little bit and I will be able to read some more and hopefully bump that books read every month up a little bit, because I mean 4 books is great, but I think in July I was reading 7 books or something. So granted, some of those were a little bit smaller than the ones that I conquered last month, but hopefully September will be a little bit of a better reading month for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dig into the books that I read in August. Book number 1 was Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, and this is the 2nd novel in the Red Rising saga, or I don't even know what it's called anymore. It started out as a trilogy and then it got turned into 2 trilogies, but if you're gonna call put them all together, it's called the Red Rising saga. So and there's gonna be 6 books altogether, I believe. The 6th book has not even had an announcement date for when it's gonna get released, and my heart is breaking on the inside because I just need to know what happens after the 5th book. That's all I want in life, okay? That's all I want. Anyways, back to Golden Sun. So I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Red Rising is a series that is very near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love the series. I love the characters. I love Pierce Brown's writing. Literally, this series is perfect. And I know that it can be pretty polarizing, and actually, honestly, not very many people like this series, but I absolutely freaking love it. It's like a far future sci-fi epic, something like that. I don't know. I'm not huge on, I don't read a lot of sci-fi, and I really just started reading it more earnestly the past couple of years, so I literally don't know all of the terms and stuff that go with sci-fi. I mean, who am I kidding? I hardly know the terms that go along with fantasy, and I just been reading that my entire life. I just read books, guys. I don't get too technical with stuff. I literally don't care about this stuff. I just want to read books that are entertaining and make me think, and have great stories and great characters and great messages and stuff. That's what I want. I don't care about all of the technical jargon. This is an adult sci-fi book. That's all I know about it. It's epic. I love it. It's one of my top favorite fandoms ever, and I don't think that's ever going to change. So anyways, I really enjoyed this reread. It hurt my heart. The end is sad. The end's horrible. The end is just you have all this hope, and then all this crap happens in the last 3 chapters, and you're like, wait, what? But why? And then the next book starts off in the same mood this book ended, and it's just horribly sad. It's very sad, but it gets better. It does get better. But yeah, I think I might actually add Morning Star to my TBR for September, maybe, or I might read that in October. I'm not 100% sure yet. I already filmed my September TBR video, so I'm not going to change it now, but I don't know, maybe I'll read that in September if I have time. I'm not sure. Anyways, I really enjoyed my reread of Golden Sun, and I think everybody should read Red Rising because it's amazing. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about Red Rising. The next book I read in August was Bring Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel, and this is the 2nd book in her Wolf Hall trilogy, which is a story centered around the life and times of Thomas Cromwell, who was a very important political person in Tudor England, so the 1530s, medieval England type era. I know there's been a lot of TV shows done about this era because I think it was King Henry or whatever, was pretty fun dude. Anyways, I'm learning he has some serious problems. Anyways, this series focuses on Thomas Cromwell, who was a butcher's son. He was a blacksmith's son. So he was born with like no title, no nothing, and he rises up to be like the second-hand man to the king or whatever. And it's been very interesting to read. I think it's entertaining. I absolutely love Thomas. He's such an endearing character. He's like, I don't know, he means business, but he's also very likable. And I just really I have enjoyed Wolf Hall, and I have enjoyed this one. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. And I have not filmed my review for this yet, but that will be coming later in September. Just because with all of the crazy life things that were happening, I just kind of forgot that I hadn't filmed the review for it yet. So that will be coming in a few weeks, hopefully. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I am not sure after I finish this series if I'm going to read any of Hilary Mantel's other works. She's very prolific. She has a lot of novels out, but I think I might just keep it set at this one for now. Maybe if, in a few years, if I get the urge to read more historical fiction, I might pick up some of her other books. But I also think she writes literary fiction. So like I don't know if it's really contemporary, but it's like that heavy hitting stuff that usually gets turned into a classic at some point. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to go about reading her other books, but maybe if she publishes anything new, I might go for that. So I don't know if I'm going to go back and read her backlist, just because I'm not the biggest fan of literary fiction, because I feel like a lot of it can be just really heavy and dense, and then it's about stuff that I really don't care about. So that aside, I really enjoyed Wolf Hall. I am glad that I took the chance on it. I mean, I saw it was getting mentioned a lot when the 3rd book got released, I think in 2020. And then Waterstones did like a special box set of these books in hardcover. And if you know anything about UK publishing, you know that you can't get UK hardcovers for very long until they're all sold out, and then it's just sad and depressing. So anyways, I jumped on the chance to get it, and I was like, I paid a lot of money for these books, especially to get a huge box shipped over from the UK to the US. So I gave them a chance, and I'm very glad that I did. They were kind of an impulse buy, but I just was like, they're so gorgeous, I can't not help myself. So yeah, I bought them, and I'm reading them, and they're very good. I recommend them to history, whatever. If you love historical fiction, it's not a romance. It's not historical fiction romance. It's not set in World War II. It's just very solidly written historical fiction that takes obscure characters from a long time ago and makes them more lifelike. And I think that's great. I think Hilary is a wonderful writer, and I definitely will probably pick up her stuff. If she publishes anything in the future, I will probably definitely pick it up. So this series is definitely recommended for those historical fiction nerds who are super tired of romance or World War II based stuff. I mean, if you're not tired of that stuff, just keep reading it, because it's everywhere. You can get that stuff anywhere. But if you are tired of it, maybe give these ones a shot. You might end up liking them. The 3rd book that I read in August was Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd novel in the Throne of Glass series, and this is literally the turning point of that series. You can really tell that Sarah upped her writing game in this book. And not that Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight are horrible, they're just not my favorite. They're definitely on the lower YA spectrum. They're okay. I mean, they were a couple, her first novels, I think. Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and then this one I think were her first 3 novels that she ever wrote. So, I mean, you got to give her a little bit of grace for that. Not everyone is a perfect author when they first start out. So, I always give debut books or the first few books by an author a little bit more grace than I normally do. But anyways, Heir of Fire is the turning point for this series. If this book didn't exist, literally, the things that happen in this book, if they didn't happen, the rest of the series, I guess, would just never have gotten written, because everything after this book is so tied tightly to the events that happen in this book that there literally would not be a series if it wasn't for this book. So I appreciate this book a lot. I mean, I don't know if I said this was a reread, but it was a reread. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's just really good. It's not as good as Crown of Midnight. not Crown of Midnight, Queen of Shadows, or like Empire of Storms or Kingdom of Ash or anything, but it's good enough to warrant 4 stars, especially with the way that it takes the series. I just really enjoyed it. Well, I enjoyed the end of it. The beginning is a little bit rough to get through because the main character is going through a lot mentally, and it's hard to read. She's very, she's super depressed after the events that happened in Crown of Midnight, and I don't blame her. I mean, a lot of crap happened in Crown of Midnight, and I totally understand, but it is hard to read. So I guess kind of a trigger warning, like the main character is dealing with really bad depression. So if that's something that bothers you, then maybe don't pick this book up. I mean, of course, if you think you could push through it, you kind of have to start with Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, because otherwise this isn't going to make any sense. But if that kind of thing is not going to bother you, or you think you could push through it or whatever, I definitely recommend this series. Like, it's really good. It's not like my absolute favorite or anything, but I do enjoy reading it. I think that Sarah has a really good thing going with it, and I don't know, I've just really been enjoying my reread of this book. Which brings me to the 4th book that I read in August, which was Queen of Shadows, the 4th book in the series. So this is the book that comes right after Heir of Fire. And this book, holy crap with the plots. There are plots within plots within plots within plots in this book, and it is epic. It is so epic. So this book got 5 out of 5 stars because the writing is just so good. I absolutely love the new characters that are introduced in this book. We have one of my absolute favorites in the whole series. I mean, I guess she was introduced beforehand. I think she was introduced in Heir of Fire, but she has a more prominent point of view in this book, which I really, really like. If you read the series, I'm talking about Manon. If you haven't, you will meet Manon, and you will love her because I think she's awesome. Anyways, she's one of my favorites, and has a more prominent point of view in this book, so that's probably the reason why this one gets 5 stars. 5 stars. Talking's hard today. Because, 1, I love her, she's my favorite, and 2, the plot just like amps way up in this book, and it's so good. Like, it's so hard not to just sit and read this book like without stopping. Like, you just want to consume it as fast as possible, and I mean, I don't blame you, because I kind of really wanted to do that too, even though I couldn't. So, I really do recommend, the Kingdom of Ash, the Throne of Glass series. I did say it's not like my favorite series of all time, but it is very good. It definitely has like a special standing in, in my reading, like on my shelf. I mean, clearly, like I have like a whole shelf of Throne of Glass stuff up here. So, I really do like it. If I'm buying merch and extra things for it, then it's probably definitely one of, not my top favorite, but definitely one of my favorite series. So I really recommend this one for fantasy lovers of all ages, because it's really good. So that is my August wrap up. Wow, there was chip crumbs on that. Let's just pretend those weren't there. Hopefully you guys didn't see that. Anyways, so August I read 4 books. I read Golden Sun, I read Bring Up the Bodies, and I read Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows from the Throne of Glass series, and I feel like it was a really good reading month. I mean, I enjoyed both of the books that I read. I didn't read anything that was crappy, and I guess that's what happens when 3 of the books you read in a month are rereads. I only read 1 new book to me, and that was Bring Up the Bodies, and I obviously really enjoyed that book. So August might have been a lower volume of reading, but I did enjoy every single book that I read. So I call that a win either way. So it's better than reading like 10 kind of okay-ish books or 10 even crappy books. So I am okay with August, even though like life things were a little bit stressful, but my reading life was pretty good. Yeah. That's my August wrap up. So I'm gonna stop talking and rambling because I'm really good at that, and I'm gonna let you guys go about your day and hopefully enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!